It got me thinking, is this really real? You know I'm about it every day. Is this really real? You know, and it's cloudy every day. You know it is.
Throughout the 20th century, there has been a rise in egalitarian principles. Everyone is born equal.
50 years ago today, the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution gave women the right to vote. On this anniversary, a militant minority of women's liberationists was on the streets across the country to demand equal employment for women, care centers for mothers, child abortions for anyone who wants them, and general equality between women and men.
Through the civil rights movements were born activism, the act of vigorous campaign for change. From this we got race equality, women's suffrage, sexual liberty, but conversely, through this era rose the most controversial of civil movements, fat acceptance.
A London store set out to find Miss Fat and Beautiful, a comfortable woman with the sort of statistics those old Dutch painters would have loved. Hips in the region of the middle 40s and all that. 11 years ago, this competitor, Dorothy Waugh, won a beauty competition as Miss Scotland. A woman can still be attractive long after any man has taken her on his knee. The secret of such figures? Eat what you like and lots of it. Mrs. Waugh was the winner, Britain's most glamorous fatty.
Fat acceptance aims to change the way being fat is perceived by society. Its roots lie in the USA, where obesity has been a major problem for some time. The 1950s saw a boom in the US economy and its political position on the world stage via the fallout of the Second World War. Food started to become more accessible, as life became easier, as cars became more affordable, as disposable income increased. In 1967, groups of people clustered for what would later be known as the Central Park Fat-In in New York. They ate ice cream while burning posters of uber-thin models like Twiggy. Viva la Révolution! 2 years later, in July 31st, 1969, fed up of his wife being verbally abused and discriminated, engineer Bill Fabry set up the institution known as the National Association to Aid Fat Americans. However, West Coast members decided to take a more radical approach, setting up in 1972 the Fat Underground. No, this is not an obese MMA or lewd nightclub. Anyway, this exposed, without irony, the belief that social pressure and overwhelming medical opinion were perpetrating a campaign of genocide against fat people. No, hence why obesity numbers have been falling over the last years. The body positivity movement, which is a different movement to what is now known as the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, and is far older than the fat acceptance movement. This movement, born out of feminism, was dedicated to changing the dialogue surrounding obesity and health, and spread awareness of the distinction between fat and being unhealthily obese. This is actually based on sound scientific advice. Obese people are more likely to suffer mental health problems, whether that is the act of being obese or the social stigmas and implications of obesity, especially in men. Of course, counter-movements arose, believing that fat shaming could be used as a tool against obesity. Good luck there. Yet the evidence suggests otherwise. All fat shaming does is affect the obese person negatively, mentally in a negative way. It can cause them to withdraw within themselves and therefore exacerbate the obesity problem. Excessive eating can be a cause of this effect. Promote exercise amongst obese people is hard and largely unsuccessful. Research by Padiakakakis suggests that obese people generally tend not to like exercise. For one, it is often uncomfortable to the individual. For two, they often have bad experiences which they associate with exercise. Thirdly, they are often having to work harder than a person who is less fat, due to them working at a more maximal intensity. Therefore, it's not enjoyable. This runs counter to the evidence that neurologically, exercise can be enjoyable due to the release of pleasure hormones. Body positivity via health at all sizes aims to promote healthy mind-body image as tools to reaching healthy weight goals, and is one philosophy widely adopted in weight loss schemes and research. The 21st century. In recent years, with obesity at epidemic proportions, fat acceptance has become more widely known. A limitation with the general body positivity movement is that with regards to obesity, its nuanced and subtle meanings can often become corrupted or misunderstood. Those who are obese end up then learning to become helpless.
Nothing. So I accepted my fate, and I just had really poor self-esteem until I hit 17. I was just like, this is who I am. This is who I'm always going to be. And I'm going to accept myself who I am.
More recently, an extreme form of postmodernism, with many fat acceptance advocates having reverted back to a more militant past, attacking the scientific, fitness, and medical fraternities. These people have based their entire identity around fatness, rather than using body positivity to lose weight. In many cases and many agencies, they are actually promoting an unhealthy lifestyle and promoting others to become obese. They are actually encouraging obesity while keeping their heads in the sand like ostriches, perpetually ostracizing themselves of scientific reality that obesity shortens lives and creates severe medical complications. It's almost like their truth has been affronted by fact.